Welcome to Profiles and Drive, the place where I invite awesome people to sit in the director's chair, share with me their story of how they got to where they are. Because I believe a lot of people are going to see, like my friend here, him as successful, but never get to know the hard work that he had to do to get there. So I'm not going to try to talk too much today. I want to let the crowd know. Like, first off, Jet Lee, or I know him as Justin. We knew him back. I knew him back in high school. Let the people know who you are.
My name is Justin Valles, but everybody calls me Jet Lee. And well, first of all, I've known Emeroy for a long time. Thanks for having me.
High school.
Thinking that I have a story, which is, I guess that's pretty cool. Basically, I won America's Best Dance Crew with Poreotics in the 5th season of America's Best Dance Crew in 2010. And since then, I've been traveling the world, teaching and all that. And eventually, I also got into film. I was one of the principal dancers in Step Up Revolution. That was the 4th movie. Yeah. And then ever since then, I've just, I guess you could say, I'm at one of the top dancers, I guess, in the industry, or if I became that. I'm not even sure. I don't even know if I have that title, but that's basically why I guess I'm sitting in this chair and I'm here to tell you the story of how I got here.
Yeah, pretty much. And how we met, man, it was back in high school. There was a place in Glendale Galleria, Glendale Marketplace, where I just saw him and his friends freestyling. And my first.
What was that place called? Was it called The Zone?
The Zone. Yeah, and then my actual first experience with you in terms of dancing was at a crump battle.
Yes.
Man, hugest mistake ever. I was a rookie. I thought it was badass. And then I had the opportunity to choose my opponent, and my friend Nick was saying, choose me, since we're friends, yada yada yada. Then I in my head, nah, you had a different AK back then, but it was I chose you, and just smoked me, and forever imprinted in my mind is this little tick motion, and then you do this, and they can make fun of me in my glasses, and hugest shot, and in terms of my confidence from dancing for a while, and then. That motivated me to keep working on my craft, and really humbled me. So I'm glad I actually chose you as my first huge opponent, and I'm glad that you kicked my ass on that. Okay.
Wow, so I'm kind of flattered because I didn't even remember I did that. But it's but I'm glad to know that I kind of inspired you to get back into working hard, I guess.
Yeah, dude, I was new as right after the whole you got served thing going on.
That was after it. I remember we were doing some. That's when my crew Tank Lang was just battling everybody.
Yeah, Tank Lang was all over the place.
They were all over the place, and they were just we're trying to get everybody. We're trying to get everybody in the Glendale High drill team. I remember Emeroy was that's when Glendale High was just killing it. Those are the days.
Yeah, and then you guys practicing over at Glendale High, right after our practices, I would see you guys practicing b-boy, and I was dang, I can't do any of that stuff yet. And then being around that, I was a senior, I was getting dang, it's time for me to learn. And then yeah, for a while I felt like there was an awkward rivalry, in terms of, for me, if you didn't feel it, I felt like there was a dang, he's the one that beat me. So I gotta work hard every time every time. I saw you work harder. I saw you work harder. So that sort of thing. And yeah, that eventually we joined forces, not in the sense being in the same dance company in Culture Shock.
Yeah.
And then being that we were on the same team, oh man, now I get to it switched my mode from dang, I get to learn from him finally, sort of thing. So it was a weird sort of motivating factor in terms of one of the things that helped me sort of, I guess, work hard in my craft, because I'm huge on more wood to the fire. If I lose, it's more wood to the fire to make me work harder, and then even more wood to the fire that I can learn from other people. And that's one of the reasons I brought you here, is because I want to have you share your people in terms of where you how you got from point A to point B. So we just shared about what you did, and what got you off into dancing to begin with.
Well, I'll start from the beginning. I've been dancing for have been having an interest in dance and just from the beginning of introduction to dance for almost 20 years.
Wow.
So I started learning breaking from one of my kuyas, if you guys know what that is. It's kind of like your older friend in Filipino.
Yeah.
And so I started learning breaking when I was like about 6, 7 years old. He introduced me to it, and he told me everything. Yeah, this is the down rock, this is the top rock, blah blah blah. Because back in the 90s, I feel like that's when breaking was popular.
Yeah.
Like the early 90s, and so from there on, I would just practice, and I was whack. I was super whack, you know, like, and I would go to school and I'd like show off to all the girls and stuff. Because I think what it was I wasn't really good at anything else. Like I hella sucked at sports. Like I was like one of those dudes that was picked last on like basketball team tryouts. Like
dang.
I was like one of those dudes like who was picked last because people just thought I sucked.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? Well, if that's the case, then I'm just gonna focus on dance. And you know, so I kept working on it. So basically throughout like middle school and then high school, like I was training and stuff like that. But then I think it wasn't until I met up with my crew Tanklang, which you know.
Yeah.
That was my crew back in 2004.
Yeah.
When we were all like, when all of us were all in high school.
Yeah.
Like we were the crew. Basically, I'll talk about Tanklang real brief. Tanklang was the crew that we had like all styles. We had like a popper, a breaker, locker. We even had a glow sticker.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We had like everything, and we would battle everybody. We would go to raves, go to high school dances. What we used to do was we used to take the bus. We used to take buses to go to like Rosemead, from Glendale to Rosemead to West Covina to wherever, just to battle other dancers at different schools. Just show them up. It was like that. Nobody really knew about that, but that's exactly what we did.
Wow.
And I think that was like, for me, that was like really good training as well as for the rest of the crew.
That's huge. Oh, wow.
Yeah, we used to do that. We were pretty hardcore. Hardcore. There were times that like we even got caught by the police. Like, why are you trying to sneak into school? Why are you trying to sneak into this dance? And it was pretty rough. But it was funny though. Like I look back on it, I'm just like,
that's hardcore.
Yeah, we were like that. But then you know, all of us went our separate ways and all that. But I continued to dance. I think after like the whole Tanklang phase and battling and all that, which I still do, I learned, well, around that time I learned from basically my mentor was Jekyll. You probably have seen him around.
Oh yeah, I know Jekyll.
Jekyll was basically my mentor, my first mentor for popping. And I feel like that's when I started to really start training, because it was the first time that I met someone from the streets, like a real OG from that era who learned everything from the streets, from like the 80s when popping started, popping started to flourish.
Yeah.
And I remember we were in Glendale at the marketplace where we used to get down.
Yeah. And
then all of us were just, we were just chilling and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, this old scary dude goes up to us and he was just like, "Hey, you guys pop?" And we're all just like, "Yeah." And after that, we just, but he was like freaking looking, but then he was just hella cool. And he was telling us about how, his whole story about how back in the day he would pop with his brother Heckle, and they would do the same thing. They would take the bus to wherever to battle people and everything. And I was just like, this sounds kind of like us. So I think that's why he took interest to us and me and the rest of the crew. Like, remember Robert, Sigmund, and Steven, all them. So from there on, basically it's that's where I started to take things seriously with popping, like real street dancing stuff. And I was still breaking too, like. And all that. Like I said, I was breaking, popping. I even got into crump, as you know.
Yeah.
We got into crump when crumping was still popular back in the day. It's still popular now, but when we were in the generation where it started, right?
Yeah, it was the original big shirts.
Big shirts.
The face paint was still huge.
Face paint, big shirts that go up to your knees.
Oh my god.
Man, those were the days.
Yeah.
I was terrible because when I was a crumper back in the day, I used to wear big shirt. I used to wear a Kangol hat. So I had to wear white gloves.
That's how I knew it was you.
Dude. I was such a retard. Like, it was just like popping, I'd be popping, I'd be like pumping too.
Yeah, I didn't know if I was doing any of it right. I just, like, I tried to mimic. I was like, oh man, I hope I'm doing something. And then that's when I tried to like do ticking, and I tried to do waves. Man, it was bad. And I remember,
you were pretty good. I thought you were good.
Yeah, and I used to think that you hated choreography. I don't know if it was true. There's a lot, because I remember always hearing Robert. He just like talk smack about it, and that's why it made me uncomfortable to like even approach him and like talk about dancing.
Yeah.
And even Chris, and they're like, okay, I think it's if these freestylers are like don't have a problem, because I started in the choreography thing.
Yeah.
And then I switched over to start exploring the whole street styles and freestyling, because I had nothing left for dancing after high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I started going to that, but then they had such a strong opinion about it. It was like, I was kind of stuck trying to learn on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, You said you've been traveling like crazy. Like, so you said 2010, it's been 3 years of traveling. What's that?
Yeah.
Like, what's that?
Going back to the whole choreography thing though, because that affects how it was on the show and everything. Basically, I wasn't a fan of choreography. Like, but I think it's because back in the day, choreography was just not that good. Like when you watch on stage, you're just kind of like, that's whack. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
I think choreography has improved over time, like choreographers and stuff like that. So I can understand you can see choreography. You can understand why people are into it nowadays.
That's true. That's true.
It's improved over time, and in reality, yeah, I was not a fan of choreography, and also at the same time, like I couldn't do choreography. I had a very hard time. Like when I joined Culture Shock for the first time, I joined for the popping team, but then eventually I started to get into choreography because I think it was more Culture Shock. It was just the whole idea of the family.
Yeah.
That kept me there in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, more so than like, you know, loving choreography and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But through that love of Culture Shock and like the idea of community and like, you know, giving back and all that, I've learned, I guess you could say my interest for choreography has grown. From there on, basically, I was always good friends with Poreotics at the time. If you didn't know, like Lawrence and Dumbo were from Poreotics, who were in Culture Shock at the time.
I remember that.
And from there on, they left to join Six Step, and I was like, I'm gonna stay at Culture Shock because I love Culture Shock.
Yeah.
And I think around that time, Dumbo would ask me about this, like, what do you think about this name, Poreotics? And I was like, that name's stupid. and then after that, he was like, yeah, you should do shows with us, blah blah. I'm like, all right, I'll see about that. And then yeah, so from there, I became a fan of Poreotics because, as you know, they started to blow up doing their things with Charles and Can. It was Dumbo, Charles, and Can doing their shows, and then they included Law, and then I got on tab with them because Dumbo said they had after I think it was after Wad San Mateo, the ABDC casting people saw that video, and they're like, we want Poreotics to audition, but you guys need 5 people, and the first person that Dumbo thought of was me to be the 5th.
Wow.
So that's how I got on tab with Poreotics.
Wow.
The thing is, when we auditioned, we didn't make it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
The second time we auditioned, we didn't make it either. It wasn't until the third time that we got accepted onto the show.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like in my opinion, I just felt like it was the right timing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, it was rough because I was in school at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was putting a lot of my energy into Poreotics, driving down to the OC and back to practice with them. It was super rough, you know. But after yeah, so it's like I was balancing school. I was studying kinesiology, and I was, you know, taking like anatomy classes and physiology classes, and I was like, my head was exploding, and it just so happens that after the third time we auditioned, that was the time that we were just like, yeah, you know, we'll see what happens, because they were like, the third time they asked us to audition, they were like, we want you guys to audition, we need you guys, we want you guys. They were really pushy about it. And I was like, wow, this is the first time they're kind of pushy about it. Maybe we should just try it. Yeah, so we did, and we're just like, yeah, whatever. And then, like, you know, after that audition, you know, we got the call, and all of us got the call, and we're just like, you guys, you know, give good news. You guys made it onto the show. And we were all just like, I think all of us were crying. I was crying. I think all of us were just crying. We were all at home, at our homes, and all of us were just crying because we were so happy, because it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
We never thought this would happen, you know? And from there on, we got into ABDC, and at this time, I was still bad at choreography. And I was like, I still had the freestyle mentality. Like, I was like butting heads. Even though I was a Culture Shock assistant, I was an assistant director, I was still like bad at choreography. I was still trying to figure things out. Yeah. And it was just like, so like I said, even on the show I had a hard time. We were butting heads, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, I think what I was good at was more so putting things together, helping putting things together and stuff like that. Whereas Dumbo would choreograph, but then we put all our ideas, we throw all our ideas in and we'll just do it. But it was still rough for us because I think it was like, even though, I'll just say this, even though we won ABDC, I still think it wasn't the end of our success, because I felt like that was the starting point of it was like the starting point of our growth. Yeah. It's like, how do I say this? Like, a lot of people think like, oh wow, you know, he won ABDC, blah, blah, blah. Like, I look back in that and I just see that was like my starting point. Like, I'm still going. I'm still moving forward. Good. It's, yeah, it's like, it's not, I can't see ABDC as an end-all be-all. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I've grown a lot more from the time we won ABDC, and I feel like all the other guys in the crew have done as well. So I learned a lot about myself, what I don't like. Like, I've learned to grow in choreography, love for choreography, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Yeah, and to continue the story, it's like we were traveling. Like I said, as you asked me, we were traveling. I've been traveling, going to different places. South Africa, that was crazy. Where did we go? We went to. I've been to Canada at least like 8 times, 9, 10 times in my life.
Wow.
South Africa, India. Well, I've been to Korea. I was just traveling. Philippines was super insane.
Yeah.
Where else did we go? Russia. We've been to Russia, Australia. So I think we're truly blessed. And I'm blessed that I'm able to like take my talents somewhere and show people that this is what we have.
Yeah.
Like this is I feel like that's the dancer's dream.
Yeah.
It's like to travel with your skill to get paid for it. Because the position we are in now, like I would have never dreamed of like if my younger self saw who I am now, I'm pretty sure he would be shocked. Because I don't think he would know that dancing would take you to places,
Yeah. I think like a lot of dancers would feel like that, especially like if they have like family here that they're telling them go get a real job.
Yes.
Or it's not gonna be supportive. It's not stable.
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever heard that. I don't know, but I know a lot of people have gone through it, and I went through it as well. It's like particularly since in terms of the animation art world, it's like get a real job, be I don't know, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever it is, and it's just like sometimes it's like it's hard. That's a tough fight, especially if you hear it every single day.
Yeah.
And did you ever go through that?
Definitely. Funny thing is that even past maybe 2 or 3 episodes into to ABDC, my parents still didn't go. Like my parents were not supporting. They were just like, yeah, whatever,
Really?
Because what happened was I had the choice to transfer to a university. It was right around the time I was going to transfer, and also get on the show. What do you think I chose? I chose the freaking show.
Yeah.
So, right? Like, what would you do? I mean, so I think my mom was still pretty bitter about that.
Really?
Yeah, she was bitter, like a little tiny bit. But then she's till this day, like even after the show, she still wants me to get like a real job, and she still wants me to go to school.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. But I think she's starting to ease up just a little bit as I grow older, and I think she's starting to see that what I really want to do and what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
But I still plan to go to school.
Yeah.
But I think what it is that what keeps pushing me to work harder it's not, they say people, they say people who have talent, like there's people who have talent, there's people who work hard, blah, blah, blah. I still believe that hard work beats talent, in my opinion, straight up. Because you could be talented and lazy and you can just be stagnant,
Yeah.
Because I feel like you have to push hard no matter what. And I believe I've worked hard over time. I believe I have some talent, like a little bit, but because I worked hard, it pushed me farther. But what I do think about hard work is that I think because, well, we both have Asian parents. You probably have Asian parents, and our Asian parents always want us to go to school, to be a lawyer, to be this, to be that, whatever it is. But in reality, they just want their kids to be successful.
Yeah.
In reality, that's what it is.
Also,
and
yeah.
what I kind of use that negative buffer for myself in a way where it's like, well, my mom wants me to be a doctor. She wants me to have a successful job, make a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. But I think because of that, because I don't want to be a lawyer, because I don't want to be a doctor, I work hard because I want to prove her wrong, that I'm going to keep pushing hard. And I think that's something that I've learned over time. Us Asian offspring, it's, well, the ones that are doing the things that we love to do, part of us wants to prove our parents wrong and prove our parents right, that we can make it on our own.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's been pushing me to be where I'm at.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's like, of course I did ABDC, but then I also did the movie Step Up.
Yeah.
That was one of my dreams. So I always wanted to be in a movie. I always wanted to be in in Step Up.
Yeah.
And somehow I got it. And I got that through auditioning. I auditioned and somehow they liked my freestyle and I made it.
Nice.
So I'm pretty sure that's what people are asking, right? People are asking me straight up. Well, I honestly, I do things the hard way. In a way, it's like, I work hard, but at the same time, I think when you do things in entertainment, you also have to know the right people.
Yeah.
You also have to maintain a sort of how do I say this? Standing,
Okay.
maintaining good relationships with people, stuff like that. And I think I've gained that kind of connection with people. I've kind of gained that relationship, good relationship with people to help me get to where I'm at. But at the same time, I have talent, hard work to back it up.
Yeah, that's good. Especially a lot of people would automatically assume that, oh, he just got the gig for Step Up, or
Nope.
or some people it's just because he's like that's, I think a lot of people are I know my stuff was I didn't know like your story is like, cause he's like, you. I immediately assumed like, that you were good already because I met you in that era like that. I was starting, but you were already ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
So I already thought that you were good. I didn't know the hard work that you put in.
Yeah.
And then knowing that you still had a hard time with choreography during ABDC, because I remember during rehearsals, you what do you call it? Choreography wasn't your favorite thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I saw you at ABDC, I said, oh, Jet's finally got choreography down.
I made it look like it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And then because like I was wondering, because I remember counting wasn't your favorite thing. You just always went by the beats. And I was like wondering how's he like processing the whole choreography thing. And then, but yeah, I definitely feel you, and especially, that's crazy that your mom like still. But I understand where she's coming from. That's because I've heard a lot of like the normal story I've heard is like even in like movies like the parents aren't supportive and all of a sudden that's the greatest thing, you just go do what you love.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I mean, now let's talk about like what was it like in like I guess your process. What do you think was like your more difficult challenges in your own evolution, in your own growth, like as a dancer?
As a dancer, I think it was really just accepting the fact that I have to stay humble. If you ain't, in my opinion, if you ain't humble, you're not gonna keep growing.
Yeah.
That's just the way I see it. Because there were times I got comfortable after ABDC.
Yeah.
I definitely did get like comfortable with where I'm at. I'm like, you know, I don't need to practice for a while. I'm gonna take a break. Blah blah blah. But then I started, I think, and I took a break from like battling and all that. Like, that's old. I don't need to do that anymore. But then I realized that why am I leaving a place where I came from?
Mm-hmm.
So I started battling again. I started winning battles and all that stuff all over again. But I think it's because even after ABDC, because I was so up here, I had to bring myself down here to really just kind of recycle everything that I had like in my mind.
Yeah.
And then push it back out in a way where it's like going back to my roots and coming out. You know, like those movies. It's like those martial arts movies where they have to they're all on top and they get totally smoked. Yeah. And they have to go back to the roots. It's the same thing.
Was it just like a self-actualization, or did someone actually smoke you in the battle or something?
I think it was that.
Someone smoked you in the battle?
Or maybe it's just because I realized that. Maybe it's because before ABDC, I still had that ego. Every street dancer has an ego. Yeah. Every dancer has an ego, no matter what it is. And it's like because I had that ego, it blocked me from. It really blocked my mind from really focusing on things that are important. Mm-hmm. You know, like focusing on practicing, blah blah blah. Like, I mean, when I entered battles back in the day, I was just like, I would practice, but I would figure out ways to win. Huh. And it's like, in a sense, it's like in like those competitions and whatever, you figure out ways to win, dissing, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But realize that like it's in time, over time after ABDC, I realized that it's not about winning isn't everything. You know, in my opinion, it's just doing your best, being yourself, standing out. You know, because this is an art form. Yeah. You know, it's like I feel like the battle scene now is a little too. I think it's tainted with that. For people, the winners, da 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 da. Yeah. But I prefer the people who stand out, who have their own flavor. That's just the way I see it. You know, like I mean, I approve that. You know, I prove the winners who have that, you know. But I feel like the whole scene right now, the battle scene, is just tainted with that. It's too much. I
mean, let's get into that. You were talking. I mentioned earlier that you want to talk about the whole dance scene.
Yeah.
Like, how's it changed? And what you've observed in it, because I feel like you're like more around it than I am. So.
Yeah. I've been in the scene. You and me have been in the scene for almost since when? Like battles, whatever, b-boying, popping, whatever.
Oh, how long time I've seen seeing the changes and seeing the product of, like, no offense to the dancers who became dancers after ABDC, but we see the mentality is different from what I've observed. And no offense to that, because we love the fact that the dance community has grown.
Yeah, it's huge now.
It's just like a huge shift has happened since then. And, yeah, I mean, what do you think about that?
I think the scene, it's been almost a span of more than 10 years now since we were in the scene. Yeah. Like I've been in it 03. I've been in it since 03, 04, 02, around there. Yeah. And like it's 2013. Yeah. It's almost, I feel like we've been in it for almost 10 years and the scene has changed drastically. Yeah. Part of me says there's a positive change and part of me says there's a negative change. I feel like because the whole dance scene now is all internet based. Everything's on YouTube. I feel like it kind of destroyed the essence of what it used to be, because back in the day, when we were dancing, it was we didn't have videos. You know, we barely had videos up.
Each other.
We had each other. So I feel like back then there was more originality.
Yeah.
Because it's like we didn't have somebody to copy. We didn't have somebody to do this. We copied only our teachers, and we learned from them and the people around us. And it was cool because all our styles were based in one area.
Yeah,
you know?
It was like that.
It was like that, because in Glendale we would kind of like, some of us would dance the same, or we would have like this. In LA they would have this.
Yeah.
In New York they would have this. Nowadays I see that everything's kind of like a melting pot. Because you can tell, like, people are like watching guys on YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm seeing like a lot of similar styles and choreography.
Yeah, everything's starting to mesh. In my opinion, that's great, and it's good for, like, you know, for dance, and like, you know, the dance population has grown way after ABDC with YouTube and all that.
Yeah.
But what I would say to a newer generation is that you have to find your own originality. You have to find your own way of doing things, and I feel like that's what the teachers nowadays who are traveling everywhere, they're not doing that. They're not teaching originality. They're not teaching people how to be themselves.
Like how to discover like themselves in the dance. They're just they're sort of opposite.
Yes, because like, who are the teachers that are traveling right now? Mostly the choreographers. The ones on YouTube. Most of them are my homies. I'm not gonna say names, but all of them are my homies.
Yeah.
However, it's like, are they teaching originality? Are they teaching individuality? I'm pretty sure they're teaching people how to do their style, but in a sense, it's like these people are not creating something of their own. Mm-hmm. That's an issue that's what I try to do. When I go out and teach, I try to teach people, like, you have to be yourself. You have to do this and stuff like that. Like, because that's how I learn.
Yeah.
And I believe that if this whole scene doesn't gain that kind of individuality, it's going to be tainted with, you know, it's going to be tainted. It's not going to be as fun anymore. Because to me, that's what made dancing fun, because everybody was so different.
Yeah, I definitely see that a lot of similar styles. Like, that's why for me, I get bored of like some routines or some videos, because like it's a similar style.
Yes.
And people like I love like our shit kings. It's like the way their styles like is, in a sense, of represents this generation at best, but how they do it is like it really sticks out to me. And then and I guess it's like for me, I could see how some people could try to learn from YouTube, because they have nothing else.
They have nothing else, and that's a positive.
Yeah, that's a huge positive. And then, like for me, I couldn't afford to take a class. Mm-hmm. And then when they saw it, like Boogie Zone, I used to copy all the Boogie Zone videos and try to learn through that, because I didn't have a car. I couldn't afford to go to those classes, and that's how I learned. In that, because. From my perspective, like through that's how I sort of discovered my own. Yeah. But I was so I dabbled a lot, and then but yeah, I definitely could see how it could, if one isn't even willing to try to discover like their own essence in the dance, it's gonna look like just like everyone else. And trying to, I don't know, its identity.
In my opinion, the teachers can teach what they want to teach, but it's really up to the student to really find himself.
Yeah.
That's just really what it is.
And it's hard to teach that.
It's hard to teach that. And that's why I think that I would encourage the teachers who are traveling to try to help people, you know, find their own way.
Yeah. Because I think we're in the lot, because we all dance because we enjoy how we feel about it.
Yes.
And then and I think also in life, it's easy to just fall under a structure.
Yeah, it's easy to fall under a structure.
It takes a lot of balls to really stand out.
Mm-hmm,
it's like, in terms of really, like, whether it's the person who's trying to start their own business, or someone who's trying to come up with their own style of choreography for the first time. It's scary.
Yeah.
And discovering ourselves in this art form can be scary as hell, because people are judgmental. Yeah. And especially those YouTube people that talk a lot of smack. So, but yeah, there's that. And yeah, like, I mean, tell me, like, what's I guess your everyday, like, sort of challenge to keep yourself motivated? Because, like, some people would say, like, I've done this and this, I'm complete as a human being, and then they would get complacent. Mm-hmm. And then how do you consistently, like, motivate yourself to get to the next level, and what are some of the challenges you feel like you face daily?
I think what the problems that everybody faces in dance nowadays is oh, I have to win this jam, or I have to make this choreography to teach this class, or I want to make a video with 6 million views, and then it's like it's stressing me out. But in reality, the challenge I face and I've learned over time is that, what am I dancing for? You know, it all goes back to that. I dance because I love it.
Yeah. And
I dance because it's fun. And I realize that I'm not gonna dance and do something that I don't enjoy. Basically, I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna go from a choreo perspective, and I'm gonna go from a battle perspective, and a cipher perspective is all, same thing. Like, there are times where people are just like ciphering, blah blah blah, going in, keep going in, and stuff like that. And, people are like asking me, how come you don't go out? And I'm like, because I'm not feeling the music. It's not fun for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that's just how it is, and that's where I center my point of happiness in dance. There was a time after the movie where I was kind of like, I was stressing out, because it was after the movie. I was just like, it was another struggle for me. It was like, gosh, I want to get into acting. I want to do all these things because like dancers are treated like crap, blah blah blah, which is true. Music paid handsomely for dance, but it's like, that's just for dance, like, but we were still at the bottom. Yeah. Dancers are still we're at the bottom, even if it's a dance movie.
Wow.
How do I say this? I had a struggle of that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to book all these choreo jobs and blah blah. I'm gonna be one of the most like well-respected dancer. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna do all these things, all that stuff in the industry.
And you were still like saying that, like, even though, like, in terms of, well, I feel like you're a well-respected dancer already.
No,
like,
thanks.
Crazy.
But
like, that's crazy that you're like still like next level sort of thing.
I was trying to figure that out, and I was trying to book all these jobs, and I did these choreo jobs, and I realized that, like, man, I don't really want to do this stuff. There's only some things I want to do in the industry now, and I want to pick and choose. The give and take is that I won't be getting as much money, but I'd rather do the things I love to do, because like I said, it all goes back into it. Like, you do better, in my opinion, you do better with things you love to do.
Yeah, definitely.
And if there's a time you start doing things for money, you start doing things for other things, like not for the love of it, that's when, to me, dance doesn't become enjoyable. And that's what keeps me pushing forward. But I think what keeps me pushing forward still is that because the scene is like that, not the scene, the community scene is fine the way it is, but I'm talking about the dance industry because I've taken my steps in it. The problem with the dance industry, to me, is that people are taking steps to push dance, but hip-hop dance, but it's still not respected right now. Hip-hop dance in the industry is not respected. From a perspective of people in the underground and people in this industry, in our community, people see the industry as a faraway place, or they see it as a place like, oh man, I wish I could be there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, once you're in it, it's a lot different. You're not, in my opinion, a lot of the times you're not casted for your skills. A lot of the times you're just casted for your look. You're casted for, how you, not even sometimes how you dance. It's really just how you look. And it's like, once you're there, it just goes to show that the people who are hiring us dancers, they don't care.
Yeah.
Not they don't care, but they're not educated on they don't really know where to put hip hop dancers. Some of them do not. They always want a sexy girl here, they want a b-boy doing air flares, blah blah. Yeah. But they don't know how to put like real talented dancers sometimes. I can't say it for all, but sometimes, because the thing is, there's so many different jobs. There's so many people hiring, so many different commercials. Yeah. So it's not just one guy. It's a whole spectrum of people, and that's what I kind of want to push. I want to push it in a way where dance can be respected, hip hop dance can be respected, so they understand everything, so they can understand how to cast people, how to find the dancers, who put in work, and stuff like that.
Oh, sounds like you're trying to revolutionize the game, dude.
Basically, but I think over time, I think it was just naturally for me is just that, as you can tell, like I've come up from the street world into the choreo world, and then also into the ABDC, and then like movie and stuff.
Just seeing the evolution is a trip.
Yeah, but it's because I've always had like a move forward mentality. I've always wanted to push forward. In my head, I was like, I never wanted to be complacent with things. I always wanted to be doing something else. I didn't want to be stuck in a place, because there's a lot of my friends and a lot of my dancers, I feel like they're still stuck in a place, and they're still there, and it's like they never had that kind of same mentality as me. But I had the mentality always as, what's the next step? What's the next step after you win a battle? What's the next step after you win a choreo competition or whatever? Yeah. After winning, what is the next step? You think, like, are you gonna keep winning again? To me, that's boring. Yeah. I don't want to just keep winning battles, blah 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 blah. I want to do different things. I think when it all came down to it, after winning battles, winning ABDC, getting a movie, whatever, I realized the next step is to try to push dance. Yeah. Try to push respect.
Okay. So it's like it's not so much of a chasing after title after title after title. It's like you're not addicted to, like some people are like chasing after the wins. But like it's like you're chasing after the growth.
That's what it. That's how I am. Yes.
Ah, nice.
That's me. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I've like witnessed it like every single time. Like I see you and like something like it's not so much something different, but I see like something that's changed your game, like changed how you are as a dancer, as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And because meeting you back then when we were in high school, like I never thought of you. I saw you as a dancer, not a leader, then culture shock. Leader, then a leader, then not a I guess. I would never see you compete in choreography. Then I see you in that, and then all of a sudden the changes keep going. So that's tight, because most people like from I'm not gonna say most people, but there are people out there that they chase after things, but it's a matter of like, and they get better at what they chase, but in the long run, it's what are they really chasing after? What
are you really chasing after is really what it is.
So then,
what do you do after you win? Are you gonna try to win again?
Because the feeling comes and goes.
Yeah.
Like you're like you won ABDC a while back, and then it's like and then there are the people that like are stuck in their glory days.
Yeah.
Like back in high school.
Back in Body Rock 07, we won this competition. Back in like 08, I won this battle. I won freestyle session. Blah blah blah. And bro, that was like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, what do you do? Like what have you done to change now? Like that's yeah. Then. I
have no hate in that.
Yeah.
Some people, that's how some people are. You know, that's where they get comfortable when they want to. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
but I don't encourage that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just to be stuck there is like, you know, sometimes I don't know. I'm a huge on in growth too.
Mm-hmm.
So like I try to encourage people like, okay, let's get you to that to get you to that now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I mean like. Well, I guess I want to do this question because it just popped in my mind. Like, what's the one piece of advice you would give yourself from 10 years ago?
If I was to give myself advice,
yeah,
to myself 10 years ago,
yeah,
just to be yourself, keep doing what you're doing, just fail, keep failing, because I think from failing you grow.
Yeah.
Stay close to God, like, you know, those things. I think from like hardship that I've grown better, you know. I think through failures, through hard times, I've just kept growing. That's it. I chose to keep growing, and so far I'm happier that way.
Yeah.
You know, it's like some people don't are afraid to take steps. You know, they're afraid to do this and do that. I'm not afraid. You know, there are times I'm like, I calculate how I do things. Like, should I take this step? I calculate. I try to make it like a calculated risk kind of thing. And if I feel like it's not worth it, then I won't do it. But if I feel like it's kind of like it's you investing your time into something. You know, if you really do feel like your time is worth it, then you should just do it. Going back to giving myself advice: be yourself, stay close to God. Take your chances, even if you're gonna fail, because I think no matter what, I see there's always growth in it, no matter what.
Yeah.
I always see it. That's always happened to me. There are times I've failed, even till this day, and I've seen growth in it.
Nice.
And that's pretty much it. That's what I'd give. I'm pretty sure like me like 10 years ago would probably be like, what the hell is this? I don't understand this. And I'll probably be like, you'll see. Yeah.
That'd be funny. If only we can like just tell ourselves, like, because we can never really see what's really gonna happen. 10 years is a long time.
It's a long time.
So there's projections of expectations on what really happens, and then yeah, that's huge on failure. And I like what you said, that you choose to keep going on, because some people like feel like they are scared to fail and they choose not to move forward because of that.
Yeah.
And I know for me, it took me a while to actually get this going. Took 3 years. 3 years
Wow.
to get this going, because it was actually just a nice little idea as well. I was working in the doing the whole video game thing, and then it's just like, oh, it'd be a nice book, and then all of a sudden, you know what? It's just like, if I don't ever do it, I'm gonna be old and gonna ask myself, what did I do at the time? And then that's huge. It's like, just take the risk, and just if you fail, like every step of failure is a growth.
Yeah.
And Yeah, I mean, I'd say, like, what's one of your like hugest lessons from one of your failures?
My hugest lessons has always been the same. It's like I think what it is. I always choose I always teach myself to think positive. That even if I fail in something, there's always gonna be something coming out of it. Like in the moment when I fail at something, I'm always like down. But then later on I'll realize. Well, I try to force myself to think that something good will come out of this. And later on I realize that it's actually a good thing I did that because this would have happened or that would have happened. And I wouldn't want that. You know, it's like I would have been in this direction. I would have been that direction. Like the first time Poreotics didn't make season 3 when we auditioned, all of us were like bummed out for a long time. Really? But then I realized that after ABDC or during our ABDC when we were on the show, that I think it's a good thing that we got on the 5th season because first of all, do we want to compete with Quest? We'd be on the same season as Quest.
Oh, dang.
Or you would be on season 4. And I don't want to be on season 4, but we were on season 5, and like I honestly do think that we brought the show back.
Yeah.
It was like a good time for us.
Yeah.
And it was a good time for ABDC, even from like the production side. Like it was I felt like it was just a really good time to be there during that time. And that's why I think that things that how things are now, things that have set in motion, I'm happy with the way things have occurred.
Oh wow! Because what you're sharing is so it's almost like you can't force the process to like just happen, even though like you like at that moment in time, you may feel ready. It's like I think like everything else is saying not yet.
Yeah, basically.
So,
that's how I view life. Yeah.
That's huge because I know I can get it pretty damn impatient because I'm like more like let's do this now, and the people I helped to work Valles with and my girlfriend, they know I can do it. I can be like that and get hot-headed, and they tell me like just calm down. It's like just be patient. So that's huge. That's huge. That's a huge lesson, especially coming from like from your experiences.
Yeah, I've learned to be patient over time. I've learned that patience wins over impatience.
Yeah.
I believe that when things are ready and it's the right time, then that's the best time to do it. I don't know if that makes sense, but you can't, in my opinion, like you said, how you can't force it. If you force it, I don't think that whatever you make or whatever you create is going to be great.
I like that.
I mean, you can push. I think it's like I don't want to say force, but maybe like a level under force, which is maybe just like you just have to do it.
Yeah.
Push it, but do it patiently. You know, do it with love. You know, patience and love. I think that's when a product becomes great.
Wow, I really like that. I like that.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of like this whole thing I just seen in the commercials. Make haste slowly. Like
that's a good one.
So it's like it just looked up to me. It was like it's a soy sauce commercial.
Oh, okay.
That one, the Kikkoman, and they looked up their philosophy. It's like, oh wow, like it's like you do things. From what I remember, you do things like not hurried and rushed, but you do each step right, so that when like each step right and not so that way when it's done, everything's just perfect.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know if I messed up the meeting or not, but that's like one of the lessons I'm like I actually just learned of like a few months ago, and it's like continue trying to apply. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. And how we met, man, it goes back in high school. There's a place in Glendon Gallery, Glendon Marketplace where I just saw him and his friends freestyling, and my first.
What's that place called? It's called The Zone.
Yeah, The Zone. Yeah, dude, my actual like first experience with you in terms of dancing was at a crunk battle.
Yes.
Man, hugest mistake ever. I was a rookie. I thought I was badass, and then I had the opportunity to choose my opponent, and my friend Nick was saying, "Choose me, since we're friends." Yada yada yada. Then I like in my head, no, you had a different AK back then, but it was I chose you, and like just smoked me, and like forever imprinted in my mind is this little tick motion, and then you do this. And they can make fun of me with my glasses, and like hugest like shot, and like in terms of my confidence for dancing for a while. And that motivated me to keep working on my craft, and really humbled me. So I'm glad I actually chose you as my first like huge opponent, and I'm glad that you kicked my ass on that. Okay.
Wow. So, I'm kind of flattered because I didn't even remember I did that. But it's like, I'm glad to know that like I kind of inspired you to get back to working hard, I guess.
Yeah, dude. I was doing like right after the whole you got served thing going on.
That was after it. I remember we were doing some. that's when my crew Tank Lang was just like battling everybody.
Yeah, Tank Lang was all over the place.
All over the place, and they were just like, we're trying to get everybody. We're trying to get everybody in the Glendale High drill team.
Oh.
I remember Emeroy was like, that's when Glendale High was just killing it. Days.
Yeah, and then you guys practicing over at Glendale High. Right after our practices, I would see you guys practicing like b-boying. I was like, dang, I can't do any of that stuff yet. And then being around that, I was a senior. I was like, dang, it's time for me to learn. And then for a while, I felt like there was an awkward rivalry, like in terms of for me, like I felt like there was a like, dang, he's the one that beat me. So like I gotta work harder every time. every time. Like I saw you work harder. I saw you work harder. So that sort of thing. And that eventually we joined forces, not in the sense like being in the same dance company with Impulse Shock.
Yeah.
And then being that we were in the same team, like, oh man, now I get to like it switched my mode from like, dang, I get to learn from him finally sort of thing. So again, it was a weird sort of motivating factor in terms of like one of the things that helped me sort of, I guess, work hard on my craft, because like I'm huge on more wood to the fire. If I lose, it's more wood to the fire to make me work harder, and then even more wood to the fire that I can